There's obviously been a lot of discussion about race in America over the course of the last few days, in particular with the decision in South Carolina to take down the Confederate flag. Georgia resolved this issue back in 2001. Give us a sense of how you felt about and how you experienced this debate and the decision yesterday in your neighboring state.
Well, first of all, I think Governor Haley deserved a great deal of appreciation for the courageous act she made. I know a little bit about it. I was one of the leaders of the effort to change the flag in Georgia with Governor Perdue as governor, and we successfully put to bed the most controversial part of the flag here. It's going to be a long, tough process. I think Governor Haley and the leaders in South Carolina are definitely doing the right thing at this moment and for the state long term. It's time to put the Confederate flag to bed in South Carolina, but it's going to be very difficult, tough, and I anticipate some very, very emotional debates unless things have changed more than I think they have.
In South Carolina, and I'm sure in Georgia, there are claims that that the Confederate flag is a symbol of heritage and not of hate. What do you say to people who say that, who make that argument?
I would say that the hate is overwhelming. And the fact of the matter is for most people, the Confederate flag is a symbol of hate, and for those who feel that it's a symbol of heritage, there's a place for that in museums throughout the state of Georgia and throughout the state of South Carolina. So you're able to pay homage to relatives or folks that have affection or appreciation for that flag. But the overwhelming feeling in Georgia when we changed our flag here in South Carolina and Mississippi and in other places is that it is a powerful symbol of hate, and I think that that is why things are moving as they are. That argument, candidly, simply does not hold muster anymore, and I think that's being borne out by how rapidly this is moving.
Do you think that the Republican Party, Mr. Mayor, has a problem with this issue, or do you think that at this point, if South Carolina goes ahead and brings the flag down, the state legislature goes in the direction that the governor is urging, that the party, which has obviously has rallied on this case, in this case, but in the past has had tended to be more in favor of the heritage argument, do you think this is going to be an issue that's going to continue to be debated, and the Republicans are going to have to answer for going forward into 2016?
Well, I think it's going to play out on the Republican primary side. I think that you're already seeing difficulty among the candidates in coming down on a firm position, and their position candidly has been evolving. And I think as they go through the primary process, folks are going to try to thread the needle. Some of them will, and then some of them will come out decisively. I think Senator Graham was by Governor Haley's side and do the right thing long term. It's very important, in my opinion, that the Republican Party be absolute and totally committed in this effort. And we're going to have several weeks as this plays out. And I think that the debate in the legislature, if it's anything like what we went through in Georgia, is going to be a very powerful and passionate debate as both sides mobilize around the issue. But I think that the Republican Party has to stand firm on the right side of this as a party.
Mr. Mayor, let me ask you, yesterday there was a bit of a media hubbub when an interview that President Obama did with Mark Maron out in L.A. Was released. He used an ugly racial epithet, or invoked it in the context of discussing the persistence of racism in America. I'm curious as to, one, whether you understand why the president used that word. Number two, what you think about the hubbub, and whether you think, and thirdly, whether you think that media organizations are right or wrong to let the president have that word used on the air, or whether they should have, as some did, bleep it out.
I think that the president was having a teaching moment and was being very candid with the American people, and I think it was appropriate for him to use the word in the context he did. And what he was doing was just drawing attention to the fact that many folks that believe that by being polite and not using language such as the language that he used, that we're making real progress on issues regarding race and class. And so I thought it was an appropriate use of the word, and I thought that the response to it, certainly coming from President Obama, was overblown, and that we're all well aware that a number of American presidents in private have used that word before, and I thought the way that he was using it was clearly a teaching moment and as a part of an honest conversation.
Mr. Mayor, finally, as a close observer of your party and the party's presidential nominating process, why is Bernie Sanders drawing such big crowds and moving up a little bit in the polls?
I think he's drawing big crowds because he sounds like a populist, and he has a very strong record that backs up the things that he says. And I think that that everybody wants to give Secretary Clinton a bit of a workout. The presidency of the United States is a special and sacred thing. And I don't believe that even within the Democratic Party that folks want there to be a feeling that you're not out there earning it and fighting for it. They're going to make Secretary Clinton earn it, and she's going to do that.
All right, Mayor Reed, let me ask you real quick, yes or no, is Georgia going to be in play in 2016? Just one word answer, yes or no? In play. Okay.
Yes.